Everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Best Self Weekly Podcast. I'm Hunter. I'm here with Jamal Thompson, 4-3. I was playing. Jamal, what's going on?
Oh man, not much. How you doing today?
Good. I'm doing good, man. And if those who don't know, maybe it's your first time listening, Jamal is a former professional basketball player. He's a coach, he's a mentor. He's still coaching basketball and just being a solid, great example to a lot of people in the community. You're also trying to kind of get in the acting business too, right? With all the connections you have. Is that,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, trying to get in some basketball commercials, basketball scenes, some like movies and stuff like that. Just some small roles, nothing like too big or anything like that. Just try to get out of my comfort zone and just try to see what direction God leads me.
that's awesome, bro. Well, Jamal, everybody that knows Jamal loves Jamal. Like everyone I met talks highly of him. He's a great guy, and I'm coaching and I'm mentoring other people. I run ultra marathons. That's like anything, more than a 26.2 mile marathon. So I just want to give a little refresh to everybody who, if you have no idea who we are, what we do, that's what we do. And Jamal and I, we have this podcast, and it's our vehicle to just helping other people be the best versions of themselves. And we focus on mindset, spirituality, and God, faith. It's kind of, sometimes it'll be just me on here. Sometimes we have me and Jamal. And then most of the time, it's me, Jamal, and a special guest. So that's kind of the way we do things. Today, it's just me and Jamal. So I got the privilege having a good convo with my boy Jamal. And from what it feels like, Jamal and I always include God, we include faith and mindset and health. Yeah, health's a huge part of the podcast. I forgot to mention that. So we'll see what we talk about, Jamal. But first of all, how you doing today?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm good. It's actually been a pretty busy day so far, but it's still a blessing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After the episode, I still have a couple more things I have to do with the youth and everything like that. Set up like a promo for this commercial that we're doing for like the NBA that we partnered with. Just always just trying to stay busy.
That's good, man. I love that. I feel like you're always doing something, whether it's for, coaching for your son, just I feel like you're always up to something. So that's
Always, man.
the deal.
Always.
You're
Yeah.
Bro, I'm excited. I've been so today, man, I've been also been busy, but I've been listening to some podcasts and reading a little, and I'm excited to pick your brain, Jamal, about
Okay.
a few things.
All
Let's
right. Yeah, that's cool. Let's get it.
All right, all right, all right. So, Jamal, one of the biggest problems I've seen, with our generation, well, are you okay? I'm Gen Z. What are you technically? Or
Oh
do
no, I
you
just know I'm an 80s
know?
baby.
Millennial. I think you're a millennial, but I feel like anyone in their 20s, 30s, and teens, one of the biggest things blocking them from being the best versions of themselves is stress and anxiety. So, mental health problems. And I listened to a podcast earlier and read some studies about how to manage these things. And I don't know, Jamal, like as a coach, you having a son, you being around the youth, do you feel like that's one of the biggest like problems?
Oh
Like,
yeah, for sure, for sure. This world is just getting even more different than it was when, even you and I were coming up, So what
yeah,
these kids have to, deal with and worry about, is on a whole another level than us. So I definitely see a lot of stress, anxiety, from this next generation. That's why it's so important for me to do the things that I'm doing and just try to, make a difference in their lives, whether that's being a mentor, coach, whatever, So I'll just try to, be their outlet, to let them know and show them that, everything will be okay just because you're having like a bad day, bad week, or whatever it is, the storm won't last forever.
I love that. The storm, it won't last forever. And I mean, if anybody knows how the youth kind of are, I feel like it's you because you're around the youth a lot. You're constantly mentoring and teaching them. And people always say our generation may have it easy because we knock on wood, hopefully, bro. We don't ever have to go to war. Well, like you can choose to go to war, right? But like for the most part, everyone's like, well, back then we had to go to war. It was physically way harder. But I feel like in today's world, it's more of like a mental battle, like these mental things like anxiety, depression, stress. Like that's the time. It's more of a mental battle now in today's world.
It is with I feel like it's way more common now. I feel like back then, like I said, it was only, with the soldiers, that was in war and stuff like that when they come back home and all that, that's when they'll have, things wrong with them, but now it just seems like this whole world is, mentally it's like everyone is dealing with something, so that's why it's so important. That's why I keep stressing that, it's important to stay prayed up.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And speaking of managing stress and anxiety and just those mental health things, I I kind of read some things and from personal experience and just talking a lot about it, I figured that there were four things to do that can really help manage stress and anxiety or any mental health problem. And number one, it was actually breathing to balance, like breath work.
Yeah.
I don't have that much experience with breath work, man. I can't even breathe that good. I got a nose surgery last year and the doctor said my nose has been broken for years. I don't even know how it happened. Probably I fell on it playing sports, but like, are you involved in breath work? Have you ever tried it as a former professional basketball player or no?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I do a lot of meditation, and even when I go to like the steam room, sauna, whatever it is, I try to really control my breathing when it comes to that. And believe it or not, you may not even notice that you have done like certain breathing techniques, but as a former athlete, you definitely have. You know what I mean? So whether it's playing baseball, football, or basketball, when you're tired in a game or a practice, and you have to go up to the free throw line and shoot your free throw, believe it or not, whether you knew it or not, you were, doing like breathing techniques. You know what I mean? In order to calm, relax your body, to prepare your mind for the shot that you're about to shoot. You know what I mean? Or whatever whatever sport that you were doing,
Sure.
at the time. So there are different, times that we have used breathing techniques and stuff. And I feel like, especially, whether it's like comes from stress, uh, athletic wise, whatever it was, that's something that I feel like we all have tapped into, whether we knew it or not. But that's something I feel like that's very important for us when we're dealing with things, because it blocks everything out. You know what I mean? Just got to learn how to, breathe, whether it's out your nose, just whatever it is, just learn how to block everything out just to get back centered. So,
100%, bro. And there's one specific one. It's taking two short breaths and one long one. It's like,
mhm.
and you like repeat like 5 or 10 times, 3 to 10 times. And I think they call it a psychological sigh if you're like
Okay.
getting really technical. So I've been trying to practice this throughout the day. I'm really new to it, but it's like, so two short, one long. And
Yeah.
if you feel stressed out, I don't know, it's supposed to really open you up. And I
Yeah,
just,
try to do it in like a quiet, area or whatever. Just really, like I said, try to get back centered, and work and concentrate on your breathing. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like it would definitely do wonders.
yeah, and out of the few mentors I've had, when I tell them I need help with stressful time, they say to start your day off with a little breathing routine. And that was
Hmm.
specifically one of them. So that was interesting. That was the number one thing. So that type of breath work, you can do that specific exercise, try it out. It's really supposed to help, clear your brain, help you manage stress and anxiety. And number two is simply like exercising. So like exercise resilience. So that includes anywhere from lifting weights for 30 minutes, going out for a walk, getting in an ice bath, just doing something that requires resilience or discipline that is physical. So pushing yourself and just it's because the mindset of doing something hard, will help you feel more accomplished, which will then help you deal with stress and anxiety. And then also doing something hard and exercising will bring dopamine or serotonin to your brain and help you feel better. So
I think
I'm
that's why it's important to work out early in the day. I feel like if you start off your day like working out, I see that you do a great job of doing that as well. I feel like it just jumpstarts your whole day after you get a good workout in the morning. So that's something
Yeah,
that I've noticed.
for sure, for sure. And I mean, you're getting a workout while you're training players every single day, moving around, blowing whistles. Like that's probably breath work. And I forgot to add one, I do get in the sauna pretty much daily, and I just kind of forgot to mention it, but I do try to like breathe a little in there. So those are the first two. So breathe to balance and exercise resilience. So doing anything, with involved with exercising. So number three is actually it's social connection, and it's just really prioritizing your relationships and making sure the quality of your relationships are healthy. Like you have like good, healthy relationships, like you talked about last time, like
Yeah.
getting to know someone, asking someone questions, making sure you're being a good friend, they're being a good friend. It's just those good influences. And
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think
I don't
everyone needs those outlets, especially when we're going through things, whether you're feeling frustrated or just stressed, overwhelmed, whatever the case may be. I feel like everyone needs, some type of outlet, whether it's their parents, best friend, sibling, whoever it is. I feel like you need to, get, certain things off your chest just to release it so that you can feel
know.
back better, so.
Exactly. Just to get things off your chest to like release it because sometimes when you say stuff out loud, it's like way different than what you were thinking, right? It's like, oh, whoa, that sounds weird out loud. Why was I thinking that? Getting out.
No, seriously, man. Like last year, was the first time I had went to talk to a therapist. Leading up to it, my parents was telling me, "Oh, I think it's good for you to go, speak to somebody." In my mind, maybe it's because I was so stubborn or whatever it was. I don't want to tell anyone like what I'm going through. Like I just felt like it would be weird to open up to someone I didn't know. But I tried it, and honestly, bro, it was the best thing I ever could have done. And it helped me so much. I learned so much, and like even like you were talking about with the breathing techniques,
Yeah.
that's where I learned that and stuff as well. So, like I said, just having an outlet to speak to somebody about like what you're going through, could change a lot.
Exactly. And then it just helps you feel, less stress because once you get it off your chest and especially when you prioritize those good relationships and those relationships give you good feedback, words of
Yeah.
comfort, they give you ideas, like it's the best thing. So definitely social connection is important. And the last one was actually the last number four step to dealing with stress, managing it, and anxiety is time for rest. So that includes like getting good sleep, getting like 8 hours, 7 hours, which Jamal, I know you're on
It's
that.
hard. It's hard for me to do that.
You're wired different from all your basketball experience, just getting up early. But it's not just sleep though. It's finding time to rest a little bit. And there's actually some supplements that they recommend. One of them is something called L-theanine, and that is supposed to be one of the best supplements that helps you deal with stress. It's L-theanine, and also another good one is like, what's it called? It's like ashwagandha, something weird. But if anyone's curious about supplements to help with stress or manage anxiety, those are two that are completely like healthy and legal.
Have you heard of CMOS? I take CMOS. I've been taking CMOS honestly for like since COVID, so
Really? How do
and
you
I had my
feel
son on it. What was that?
what's the difference? Like, how do you feel taking that stuff?
I feel amazing, and I actually, have my parents on it and stuff as well. Like, so I started it first, and I had, my son take it. I was just like, I'll make it and just like mix it into like a smoothie or whatever like that, and just drink it that way. But there's different forms that they have. They have like the liquid kind, and they have like the pills stuff as well. So it definitely helps. Health wise, there's a lot of great benefits if others want to look into it and stuff. But that's been helping me for about 4 or 5 years now, and my
Really?
family. Yeah.
Hey,
CMOS. CMOS. I'll definitely let you know more about it and stuff as well.
that's awesome, bro. I just started taking L-theanine, and I have this gum and mints that have a little bit in it, and then mix a little caffeine and like vitamin B6 or something.
Okay.
So I know for a fact that L-theanine works, and that's cool. You know for a fact that CMOS is working because you've taken it for 4 or 5 years, like you said. Like
Yeah.
so that's cool, man. There's definitely some supplements out there that will, I don't know, they'll help a little, but at the end
Yeah,
of the day,
that'll help.
not going to
Yeah.
cure everything. You got to put in that mental work, which I guess brings me to my next point, bro. I was reading some stuff, and did you know that pretty much on average, like 70% of people, of Americans hate their jobs?
No, I didn't know that, but I believe it, and but that's why I feel like it's so important, especially as the kids, and that's why I preach it. Like, man, I know even when we were coming up, we didn't want to do our assignments, and we didn't want to go to school, this and that. But that's why I stress, that education is so important because You don't want to work for anyone, have to tell you, what to do, especially as an adult, or feel like that you have to do something, you know what I mean? I feel like God didn't place us here on this earth, just to work, pay bills, and to die, So it's just like, you find something that you're passionate about, something that you're good at, and just try to make a difference that way and serve your purpose.
Exactly. And once you have that purpose, you have direction and clarity, like you feel energized in a different way. You feel like motivated, but not just motivated, inspired. Like you have that drive that only having purpose brings. And I really feel like a lot of people like they hate their jobs, they hate their lives, they're unhealthy, they feel without energy, unenergetic, they feel unhappy, they're not smiling, not laughing because they don't have a clear vision of what they want. And once you have
Which
that clear vision, aka, purpose, that's when everything changes. But the cool thing is, bro, is like if you look in the mirror and you feel that way, if anyone's
you could
still,
change.
you can fix that. You can change, you can. And it's so cool because we have so many resources, bro, to fix that, to find it.
Yeah.
But Jamal, I know for a fact you have a lot of clarity, a clear vision with everything that you're doing. Um, is there anything you have to say to maybe help someone? How can someone find more clarity in their life, more of a clear vision?
Just pray about, what it is that they want. And then try to picture yourself like how you would feel in that actual moment when you're there, and then just attack it. Go after it every single day. Don't get distracted. You know what I mean? I know it's easier said than done, but if you have your vision, if you have your goals, then you have to attack it every day, and like your sign behind you, belief. You have to believe it, in order to achieve it, So, um, that's my advice, and like I said, just pray, just continue praying about it, continue working, and
Yeah.
it will happen.
I love
But
how you
if you don't have a vision of where you want to go, then how are you going to get to the finish line? It's impossible.
That's a good point. I love how you tied God into it because, if you have no idea, but I truly believe that if you pray to God and you open up the scriptures and keep reading, there's something in there that will resonate with you. There's something in there that will resonate with everybody that will help you um have more clear of a vision. Like there's so many inspiring stories of families, and when I read about families, that motivates me to want to have to want to grow my family and be that strong father figure. Like there's a lot of great father figure examples in the scriptures. And like there's a lot of great core values and characteristics of like these men and of other people and Christ-like, attributes like love, charity, knowledge, so on and so forth. That like when you read them, those you read them and you're like, I want to be like them. I want to be like that. I want to have that. So you can turn to God and ask, say, like, hey, how can I develop these things? What do I need to do? So I feel like exactly what you did is tying God with it is perfect, like praying and reading, and then from there doing everything else.
For sure, you got to know like what your why is. I feel like everyone has their own why. Like, my why is my family, my son. You know what I mean? So that's what keeps me going. To become the best that I could be. So I feel like you just have to figure out, why you're doing it, who you're doing it for, and like I said, for me, I'm trying to leave financial legacy for my family. You know what I mean? Like generational wealth. So it's just like the harder I work right now, I feel like the easier it's going to be for my family moving forward, in the long run. So,
But when you had your son, did that kind of take place? Like did things get real? Did you become very inspired when you had your son for all areas of your life? Like I know you already were probably, but like how was that? As soon as your son was born, did that kind of kick in, like that father instinct to like leave a huge legacy?
yeah, it did. Before he was born, like the whole time, I don't know. It was like a lot of mixed emotions. It was my first time being a parent. I didn't know what to expect. So I was nervous. I was afraid. Like I said, you're scared of the unknown. So I didn't know what to expect, bro. But as soon as my son was born, I held him in my arms like my for the first time. I'm just looking at him and just changed everything, bro. It's like now I actually have like a human like that I have to, be there for, support, provide for, So it's just like, and he's just looking to me and like I'm his everything. So it's like I have to go that much more harder for him. You know what I mean? So
That's so dope. That's so cool. Once you held him in your arms, like got even more real.
man, because like before I said, even the day leading up to him like being born, like it's just like okay, like I know I'm going to be a parent, this and that, but it actually didn't hit me until he was born. I'm like, looking at him, holding him. You know what I mean? It was just like wow, like it was life changing. It was life changing, bro. Like to
That's
be honest.
that's powerful. And he's 8 years old. He's playing three
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah, yeah, and he's doing really well in school. He's the way already. It seems like he's a better student than I ever was. So that's something I'm keep pushing him on. Keep stressing. Because like I was mentioning, like how important education is. I feel like I made my path a lot harder than it would have had to be if I would have just took school a lot more serious. So that's why I preach it to others so much because I don't want them to make the same mistakes that I did.
Right, right. Well, mark my words, we're gonna have your son on here and he's gonna preach, man. Even though he's 8 years old, we gotta pick his brain and see what it's like. And
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see what he has to say.
me too, bro. We'll get him. We'll ask him some good questions and make it easy for him.
Most definitely, most definitely.
You're like the youngest ever to be on a podcast.
He's looking forward to it. He's been asking me already, so I'm going to see how he does, you know what I mean? So it's not going to be his first podcast, which is going to be, which is actually kind of funny. He's been interviewed quite a few times already,
That's
so I
cool.
feel like he's destined for the bright lights, I guess, if you want to call it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's so cool. He has the resources and his generation is growing up like with YouTube in their hands, like posting it in their hands. Like I grew up with it obviously like in my hands since sixth grade, 12 years old, but he's grown up like people his age are making videos.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So and that's something he's always watching. He's always been into videos and everything like that. So I'm curious to see, like I said, what direction he's going to go down, in his life. So
Yeah. And man, it's been a good quick, I mean, message that we've shared. There's been a lot. Like I guess takeaways would be if you're dealing with stress, anxiety, any mental health thing, turn to books, turn to the Bible, turn to self-help books, and just read. Reading has really changed my life, and also pray, about everything. And I would say, man, for a third one, whatever you're passionate about, sit with yourself and whatever you're passionate about, what your passions and strengths are, and whatever you feel like there's some type of problem out there with, like you're a basketball coach, and if you feel like there's a problem out there with young men, they need a mentor, they need a good coach. If you find a need or aka a problem, like that helps you find clarity. For me, I felt like my generation and everybody else, they needed another young mentor, another young person involved in self-improvement. So that's what made me want to do it. And I'm passionate about helping others, self-improvement, health. So I invite everybody to do the same thing. Like, and also mix it in with reading because reading there it's just like makes you think in a different person's perspective, hear other people's stories. And if you have no idea what to read, send us a DM and we'll direct you in the right path. But I don't know, take
sure.
you have Jamal.
Same thing. You pretty much said it all. I know we pretty much sound like it's a cliche. Like you said, to pray and stuff like that. But it's just so important, bro. Because like you said, if you don't have any clarity, you don't know what direction you want to go in, then that's why God is here. You know what I mean? Like
Literally.
that's what you know what I mean, and that's why the Bible is here. You know what I mean? So it's just like I understand that, you may not understand it all or whatever, but that's okay. Just, take bits and pieces of it. Try to, read what you can. And then, like I said, if you pray throughout the day, then it will bring you peace. And not only will it bring you peace, God will speak to you and through you and give you the answers that you need. Because, he blessed everybody with their own specific, individual gifts. So, like you said, if you know what it is that you want to do and what you're good at, then it won't even seem like you're working a day at all in your life because you're going to be enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah, straight up. And sometimes God speaks to you through other people. So by listening to other people, reading books like that can touch you, be the answer to what you're seeking for through another
Yeah,
person.
yeah,
Yeah, man. I love it. Jamal, thanks for hopping on this one, man. It's been a good one. I'm honestly being the best version of yourself, man. It's a never ending thing and it's addicting and it's fun. It's not easy, but it's fun when you like start to see some progress, you
yeah,
know?
for sure. Because every day, like we always say, it's a blessing. You know what I mean? So why not look at it as like that? You know what I mean? So each day you get a chance to become, better and better. You know what I mean? So it's just like if you look at it, if you just change your mindset instead of looking at it like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, and like, no, I get it. I get an opportunity to do this and do that. Because thinking about people that probably passed away that had the same plans of doing something the next day and they didn't get a chance to do it. You know what I mean? So we just have to be grateful and thankful for the things that we have.
Straight up, gratitude's key. It's like the keystone to everything, man. And all right, man. Well, everybody, let's be the best version of ourselves today. Have a good weekend. Appreciate you tuning in. Give it a listen, giving in a listen.